Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the Challenge Fandom podcast. I want to introduce you to a very new special segment that we're all very excited about, where we're able to provide you with the exit interviews for the Challenge USA of who was eliminated the last interview.
The last episode.
Last episode, yeah. Well, you know, it's midday. I'm not in my stride yet. Check back Saturday about 9:30. I'll be going full blast. This week, I was really excited once I found out that we were going to be interviewing Cashel and Tiffany, because I've been a big fan of Tiffany since she was on Big Brother. Really super strategic person. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see all of that in this season. We saw a little bit, but I don't know about you guys. I'm stoked to talk to him.
I don't know how to feel about this, because like I'm so excited to talk to Tiffany and Cashel. But at the same time, I know that talking to them is because they're off the show and we will not be able to see them play the game any further this season. So it's kind of like a two, I don't know. It's
bittersweet.
Yes, it's bittersweet, right? Because it's so cool to meet Tiffany and Cashel. I don't know a lot about, and he didn't get a whole lot of like airtime or confessionals, but there's just something about him that I'm like, there's something more to this guy. He seems really cool. And like, I really want to talk to him. But at the same time, I'm like, that means you're off the show, though.
Yeah, so. that's the thing is like, we're so stoked to be able to do this and like come in every week, have these conversations and release them so that everybody can hear them. But the downside is that means that they're not on the show next week. And that's a really weird feeling. And I can't process it either.
It is, because then you sit here and you think about like your favorites, you know, like everybody knows I'm rooting really hard for like Angela and stuff this season. So we'll use her as an example. It's like, I really want to meet her and talk to her, but I don't want to meet her and talk to her on one of these. So it's like that weird, you know, that you have to find. But yeah, no, I'm really excited to talk to them. You know, obviously we can't change what happened on the show. But very excited to meet them.
So is Jenga.
Jenga is stoked.
Jenga is annoyed that she's not allowed in the room during these interviews. She is on the other side of the room, on the other side of the door. That is how vocal she is about wanting to talk to Cashel and Tiffany.
Yeah, she's pretty upset.
Well, you know what? Let's not keep Jenga or anybody else waiting. Let's hop into this interview. What do you guys say? All right, guys, here we go.
Let's do it.
Hi.
Hello.
Well, guys, thank you so much for hopping on with us. My name's Ricky Hayes. This is my wife, Karina. And then we have our other co-host, Tony, join us. And we're with the Challenge Fandom podcast.
Hello.
Thank you guys so much for hopping on. So I know we're a little bit short on time, so we're going to dive right into this. First
of all, I just wanted to know, like, what was the experience like going from your original show onto the challenge?
It was a little... It wasn't as comfortable because people already knew me and kind of assessed me as a player and had these expectations of how I was going to play. Whereas on Big Brother, I could come in and be whoever I want.
Right.
So it was a disadvantage for people to know who I am. But then there was also the advantage of having established relationships already before going in and hoping to have people that you can work closely with.
I tell you what, sitting around and flirting on a beach is much different than playing the challenge.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very, very different game. And to be honest, I was a little intimidated. I was a lot of bit intimidated coming in with Survivor folk, being Big Brother folk, because it's just such a different game and you have to have a much different strong suit. But I did feel good. Kind of being in the position of nobody's expecting you to do good or to be a threat because you're just a Love Island boy. So I did like being in the shadows and being slept on a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Nice. Now, were either of you fans of the challenge before coming onto the show, or is this like totally fresh for you?
Totally fresh.
I've watched the challenge. I was a fan of the challenge. Plus, I was like, I need to know what to do when I get in there. So I was like, let me start watching and studying.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure you guys are going to be like, oh, how rude. I'm not a reality TV person. Well, I am, but I'm a personality, but I don't watch reality TV. And kind of my mindset going into Love Island and going into this show was just show up and do your best and have a good time. So I didn't do any studying whatsoever.
Honestly, you'd probably be shocked by how many people are on reality TV but do not watch any reality TV. So you're definitely not alone in that.
Yeah. Big Brother, like that's it. I always say I only watch Big Brother. I don't watch anything else. And then I started, picking up on the challenge. Like, let me get to know what's going on here.
Right.
Yeah, kind of give you an idea of what you're stepping into, right?
Mm-hmm.
So actually, this question is for both of you as well. What's one aspect of the gameplay from your guys' original show, Love Island and Big Brother, that you think translates well to the challenge game?
I guess just, I would say social, but I'm just a social person anyway. And like I said, I have relationships that I built from Big Brother that I was able to connect on the challenge as well. I think if you take away like the game aspect of it, having been in a high environment where paranoia runs rampant and there's cameras and just the anxiety of being on TV, that kind of was not so much as a factor for me because I had that experience on Big Brother.
Right. No, that makes sense.
I think, in terms of direct gameplay, Love Island, like I said, just sitting around and flirting does not translate. But kind of what Tiffany said is being in an environment where you're followed by cameras and that you're going to be on TV and stuff like that. Knowing what that does to people is advantageous. Being, not coming in, coming in and knowing that people aren't just going to be themselves and be honest.
Right.
Kind of managing egos. That's what I think translates, managing egos.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. And, kind of speaking of egos, I was curious. So in the winning team of Tyson and Justine, obviously Justine being from Love Island, and then all the behind the scenes stuff that went on with all the Big Brother players kind of pushing for you too. Did you guys feel betrayed at all by your original cast, your original show cast?
Would betrayal feel like a knife coming out of your back? Is that what betrayal feels like? It's kind of... yes, of course.
Yeah.
Honestly, I left feeling like I don't have any friends. These people are not who I thought they were to me. Because in my real life, like friendship is important to me. I value friendships. I'm still friends with people. I have. If I told y'all how long my friendships were, y'all know how old I am. But no, I have 30-year friendships. Like I'm still friends with my childhood friend that I met when I was 8 years old. She came and watched the show with me last night. So friendships actually do mean something. And so when you say you're my friend, I don't care where we're going. You're supposed to have my back because I have yours. Let me know when we go in this game. I play different, but I think that we played the challenge so closely to us leaving Big Brother that we weren't fully out of the mindset of Big Brother. So it's kind of like somebody pressed pause and then somebody pressed play. And although we had established these relationships out here where we were like, oh, okay, now we know each other, we're cool, forget about it. When we go in here, it's going to be good. Honestly, it felt right back like we were right back in BB, just a continuation of that game, except now you know what has been done.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Tony, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I know that there was some betrayal perceived by Tyson as well. Now, were you able to look at that as strictly like a game move, or is there still a little bit of animosity there, or do you have enough time away?
I didn't have any animosity towards Tyson. I definitely looked at it as a game move. I didn't know him before coming in. I've not really watched Survivor like that. I thought that we had a good relationship that we built inside of the house. When he ended up allowing me to go into elimination, I was like, I kind of understood it because the only reason that it really made sense for Tyson, not the only, but one of the main reasons it really made sense for Tyson to be okay with losing me was I wasn't one of the strongest women competitors there. And we have this random algorithm, and I had not yet been to be his partner. And he could have been looking at me as a liability. There were a lot of factors where I wasn't strong. And so if you're concerned about getting paired up with somebody who you consider to be weak, and this person has the opportunity to go home so that they don't jeopardize your game, from a game standpoint, I understand why he would be okay with me going in and going home.
Right.
Plus, I was injured. I don't know if y'all knew that. I was injured. So I had sprained my ankle, and he knew that, and everyone knew that. So it's like, it's kind of a liability at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't feel any, I knew going from the jump after I met Tyson, I knew that he's all gameplay. So I think he and I actually really connected over our just competitiveness and the way that we viewed this game. I feel no hard feelings. I knew that Tyson was going to do what he needed to do. Justine, in terms of like Love Island, like, throwing me under, I'm not surprised. I mean, I have no relationship with any of those girls. Yeah. Me and the guys got along really well, but the girls kind of had their, you've seen in the show, like they are a unit and they want to infiltrate from within, and they're sticking together because they don't really know what else to do. I thought that Kira and I were cool and that there was a mutual respect there. But I think we all saw that she doesn't feel the same way.
Yeah. Well, guys, we know we're out of time. We want to thank you guys so much for hopping on and joining us, and hopefully maybe sometime in the future we can continue the conversation a little bit more.
Hit me up, but anytime.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much, and best of luck to you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Great logo.
Holy shit, that was so fucking cool.
Oh my gosh.
It was awesome.
So she really was hurt.
Yeah, I
I'd heard those rumors.
So did I. I actually had that question I wanted to ask her, but I'm glad she kind of answered that for me. So it killed one of our questions. The only question we didn't get to ask, which I think is kind of obvious from the answers they gave us, and is, would you guys do it again? It seems like I think they both would do the challenge again at some point.
It definitely feels that way.
Not only that too, like it's really interesting because obviously Tiffany played a very strategic game and a very social game, and so did Cashel. It's really interesting because we got such a short snippet with them on this show, but it's so clear that they would do well on the challenge as a whole. And yeah, like I can't wait for whatever incarnation comes next that they're both on, because I'm in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I said, knowing about that injury now explains a lot more of the questions I had about the actual elimination when I was watching her ride.
Yes, because, and that was my thing. Like I was watching her the whole time. I'm like, Tiff, like get those legs going faster. Like you are not moving those legs fast enough to keep up with what James and Cayla were doing on the other side. Cause they were like freaking like power going on those bikes.
They
like,
were in a fucking spin class.
They were like, they were going so fast. And I'm like, you got to pick it up, Tiff. You got to, not that I didn't want anyone to go home on this episode, to be honest, because I love James and Cayla. I love Tiff. I love Cashel. But I was like, you got to do a little more than that. But that makes sense now, knowing that her ankle was hurt, and she was trying to like pedal this stationary like spin bike with an injured ankle. I'm sure I couldn't have done any better either. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Look, I'm gonna be honest, what the highlight of all this outside of meeting those two was Cashel saying that's a dope fucking logo.
I know. I'm so sad we cut it off like right at the very, very like right as he was saying it. But for anyone who heard the end of the interview, that is like the ending of the sentence that he said there. Which was so cool because like we put a lot of time and effort into like trying to pick and make everything, kind of match up to what we wanted it to be. So that was awesome.
I'm going to send that guy a shirt and a sticker.
Right. What part I really liked? And it honestly told me a lot about Tiffany and about Cashel, is that neither one of them holds like any animosity towards Tyson or Justine for the move that they made. Yeah. And they both kind of understand that it's game and it's nothing personal, while Tiffany might feel some betrayal from her BB friends that she went through hell with and all this stuff. And I totally get that. But the move that Tyson and Justine made, like they understand that it's not a personal thing, that it was a game move. And I think that says a lot about them as players and their potential in the challenge, because so many times, people take that personally and as an attack and all this stuff. And so it was just really cool to get that perspective that they're not feeling that way, and they understand that Tyson and Justine did what they had to do for the best for their own game. And then that's the ultimate goal in the challenge. So I respect that. And to me, like, that showed me a lot about who they are.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
It also sets us up for like a way more intense, and you can already tell just in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Challenge USA is a way more cutthroat challenge than the flagship. And a lot of it has to do is like, we don't have returning players. These are all new people. And the only quote unquote alliances they have are possibly, maybe kind of, sort of from their original show. Right. Otherwise, everybody is out to get that prize. Everybody's out to make it to the like world championship or whatever it is that they're calling it, and to make that final. And that it makes for a way more interesting game. Yeah. And it also gives them the groundwork of not taking those moves to heart.
Right.
And that's going to elevate the game so much more if, say, like 5 or 6 of them end up on the flagship at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's going to allow that group to go much further.
Agreed. And I think the last thing I want to say about this is, I think another part that plays into that is that, obviously the majority of the players in the house are from either Survivor or Big Brother. And both of those shows are extremely fluid in their alliances. And we've talked about this and we've beat it into the dirt. And Tyson even made it very clear last night when he made that comment, and when Tiffany was like, oh, I thought I was safe or whatever. And he's like, you were safe 30 minutes ago. Like, things just change so constantly. And so it's really good to see like strong players in the game who understand that it's a game and that everybody is going to do what they have to do to get themselves to the end. And that may not include you. So I respect their outlook on that. And I really hope we get to see them again. And I hope we get to sit down and talk to them more, because Cashel seemed like a really cool dude. And obviously Tiff's got tons to talk about. So I'm really hoping that we get to sit down and have an unplugged episode with them soon. So make sure you guys keep your eyes out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Jinx, with that being said, I don't want to just, put a cherry on top of everything you guys already said, because I agree with it. I think it's a Survivor influence and a rookie influence, like you said.
Yeah.
And I don't really have anything of value to add other than the closeout. So you guys ready to go?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Let's do this. Let's get this out to the fandom.
I agree 100%. So for myself, Ricky Hayes, Karina Hayes, Tony Lance, we want to tell you guys thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it, and we hope you enjoy this exit interview. Bye.
Bye.
Later.